matters that much because they just get in these awkward positions over and over and over again due to their limited champion pool. So whether it's an extra ban or a ban more, they need to be able to play more champions. That's literally just it.
Well, we'll find out if they do play any more champions today, Crepo. SK 0-6 on the split. They're coming up against Unicorns of Love, who are 3-3, but Unicorns of Love went 0-2 last week. Let's catch up on the bans. Kog'Maw, Gragas, Azir, Rek'Sai. No surprises yet.
So both tier 1 junglers out immediately, and we see the top tier teams obviously leaving that open very often because there's more threats out there. SK immediately opening with a second ban Gragas. I think that's very weird. I really hope they have a plan for this. Maybe a Kalista first pick, but if you're going to ban one jungler, at least do it on the third ban. So then you can put some more pressure on the Unicorns so they have to match that ban or at least give up a tier 1 jungler. They ban out Ryze themselves, even though Ryze, I think like 80 or 90% of the bans are on the red side. So
let me tell you exactly. That is the 5th time it's been banned on blue side versus 13 times on red side. Twice today it's been banned on blue.
Yeah, very weird. Often teams have a bit of a plan at least. They want to trade it for another priority pick. So are the Unicorns going to ban Kalista here? Put some pressure. No, still the LeBlanc ban. So even though she got nerfed, Echo is open too. All right, Echo locked in.
The question is, who's going to play it? My instinct is it's more of a Fox assassin champion, but Freddy's played AP in the past.
I almost feel like this is a Freddy champion right now because he banned both tier 1 junglers. Didn't have too much success on other of them. It doesn't really strike me too much as Fox. Maybe Freddy, but not really. An immediate reply is Alistar Kalista, so I almost feel like Unicorns are happy with this.
Can I clarify, you're expecting that in the jungle, potentially, rather?
Likely, yeah.
Okay, so let's find out how it does shake out. Unicorns of Love will get their hands on Kalista and Alistar. Vardags will be playing Kalista for the 3rd time this split. Not at the greatest of performances, 2-7-2 for the record when he's played it. And we do see Caitlyn was buffed, been picked in.
Yeah, Caitlyn being picked up here. Ironically, one of the champions that SK would have played in Spring Split more with Forgiven. Push, poke, heavy style. Getting in there. They used to pair that a lot with the Lulu support. Obviously a flex pick for SK Gaming, but likely to go towards Unrated. So that bot lane usually just wants to push in, poke you out, and eventually take down your tower and translate that into a bit of an advantage. But you're prone to getting caught, so you really need to add a jungler into the equation there. Get the knockup from Alistar. Try and punish that lane that way. However, big range disadvantage there. And Caitlyn actually does well into Kalista.
So we'll see how well he handles himself. Crepo, we're really going back in time here. We saw SK try it with Mundo. It didn't really work out. We saw them try with Shyvana, it didn't work out. We're now going to see Shen.
Shen in the top lane. Runs teleport, runs that ultimate. Again, more around. They're going to play around Kalista. They almost have to. Unless we see a heavy assassin, all-in type of champion in the mid lane. Unicorns say, okay, we got that tier 1 AD carry. We got the good support that works with it. Alistar, fantastic synergy with Kalista. Let's buff it even more. Almost feel like they're putting too many eggs in the Kalista basket. But it all depends on what Power of Evil is going to whip out eventually in that mid lane.
Especially considering that Kalista basket from Unicorns of Love has not really paid off yet this split. We did see some buffs being given over to Shen on 5-11, which we'll touch on in game, but SK going to round out their team composition, so it will be Svenskeren running that Echo in the jungle, as you highlighted right at the start. Cassiopeia for Fox and Gnar for Freddy, so a lot more sort of meta for the top half of the map, with the surprising Caitlyn thrown in there on 5-11.
But yeah, Caitlyn always works, is just, you have to use her to really have a goal in mind. Just picking her and going even is not what you want, even if you keep the Kalista down. And see the hover here, back to Syndra, originally a staple for Power of Evil. Let's take a look at the finished composition. So SK Gaming, they finished that composition with Echo in the jungle. They're lacking, I guess, a main tank, because Gnar can get very tanky in his ultimate form. Echo builds somewhat tanky, but kind of wants to jump into the fight second. He doesn't want to go in first. Both tanks on SK Gaming are pretty much secondary engage. They have a lot of range on their carries though. Cassiopeia does have a decent amount of range. And they have the peel from Lulu, so definitely want to see how it plays out if they can get early towers and can use that Caitlyn to siege a lot more. A lot of poke and siege on their towers. And Power of Evil again with a passive mid lane with the Orianna yielding the pressure over. So I think a lot of the action will depend on bottom. If Caitlyn Lulu will get caught if you see the traditional lanes or not, because I mean it all points to that, right? It's buff to Kalista and it's not really a hyper carry, so it's weird, because usually when you see an Orianna and a Shen, you want to protect the hyper carry, right? You want to get the scaling carry that just Shreks everybody later in these fights, but Kalista, yeah, she can get rolling, but she's still relatively short-ranged, and she can get punished.
And we'll find out whether or not SK have it in them to punish Unicorns of Love and this Kalista. So we do see the coaches walking off stage there. And it's a tough situation actually for both of these teams. Obviously SK not had a great summer split, but for Unicorns of Love, they're being held to the standard for placing second in spring. And they're not really showing up. We're seeing that they're faltering a little bit more. Those team comps will fly up on your screen in a moment. Hit us up on Twitter, hashtag SK win, hashtag UoL win. And let's see whose experimental team comp will come out ahead. First Shen of the year as well. Of the split, rather, to go with the first Olaf of the split as well. But for Unicorns, it's all about Kalista.
Yeah, and that matchup in the top lane, Gnar can poke out early, but Shen sustains pretty well with his Q on creeps, then just regens up, has that shield. So I imagine not too much action in that lane going on right there. And then, yeah, how's it going to play out? You know, passive in the mid lane, Orianna against the Cassiopeia. I would feel like it's in favor for the Cassiopeia early in terms of pressure, in terms of damage. But the last time I saw that matchup, I think it was Xpeke playing it and going completely even slightly ahead in CS. So wondering if we see a repeat of that, or if Fox can actually pressure out Power of Evil now, win that lane and get some advantage. Because then you have almost 3 lanes having pressure for SK Gaming. And that's where Svenskeren usually thrives. When his lanes are pushing, that's the way they played back in Spring Split. Every single lane was pushing. This opened up the enemy jungler for Svenskeren. He could chunk out the enemy jungler and then move towards the lane and get the advantage. Get 1 tower, get 2nd tower, try and snowball it that way. But we've seen a distinctly different SK Gaming so far. But it hasn't been working. Definitely
not yet. And we'll see whether or not the laning phase works out in favor of SK. I'm hearing that it is an audio-related issue on stage at the moment. So our QA guys are looking at that. We can just touch on the fact that Shen, some of the changes, of course, reply to his passive, going to be coming a little bit more frequently, getting some of the additional damage up, and then the Shadow Dash as well, going down in energy cost. So being able to stand united into a team fight and then use that dash to try and lock people up. I think there is a whole lot of CC on the side of Unicorns of Love between the Alistar, the Shen, the Lee Sin, and you can do multiple things with that CC, right? So let's see how well they coordinate, because I kind of feel they've not had the greatest coordination in summer.
I mean, yeah, Shen is obviously one of the prime ball delivery systems with a taunt flash. But you have to land it. You can actually dash through multiple targets in a fight if you taunt 2 and then have hop to the next one and get multiple taunts up, then drag them towards the Shen and get the Orianna ulti off. It's a beautiful combo. If it fails, however, in a bit of trouble.
That is for sure. Going back in time, we've got all of the old Fnatic on stage. We've got a 2013 ball delivery system combination on stage. And the fans are definitely in favor of the Unicorns of Love. As we loaded up, we just saw that sign. Tickbox is for wrecked. Who will get wrecked this game? Vote on Twitter and let us know. It looks like we're going to get standard lanes for the time being. Or, no, let me reread this. Unicorns grouping themselves up. Maybe going to push into SK's jungle. Can do this one.
This is very weird. It connects, but I don't see the follow-up for this.
Find the support of Enrated.
Okay.
So Lance doesn't connect, but not needed. Look at the reply from SK. They're going to get some deep vision of their own, and we're all just going on a summer holiday through the jungle, it appears.
Yeah, very weird level 1. But, let's take stock of what happened. Some deep wards from Unicorns of Love and the reaction wards from SK Gaming. So Caitlyn does have a big range advantage on Kalista, and usually Alistar has issues dealing with a double range bot lane. So while Alistar Kalista is very potent at killing people, if they can get the CC down, they do have a little bit of trouble. You know, laning against double range, and they can get zoned around and poked down eventually and then prevented from going all in. We saw it earlier as well with Gambit playing. Forgiven on the Corki, Edward on the Bard, double ranged against an Alistar lane, poked him down eventually. But if you get caught and the Jungle Jones, then you get blown up immediately. So bit of a trade-off.
Well, we'll find out how well SK can perform, because right during picks and bans, Grapple, you talked about them looking to play more champions. This is Svenskaren's 7th jungler in 7 games. First time we've seen Fox on the Cassiopeia this summer. Obviously, first time for Candy on Caitlyn. First time for Enrated to lose. So 4 of the 5 roles playing champions for the first times. This split. We'll see whether or not it works out. So there, he did see the Krugs as well as Grom taken. Both duos return to lane.
Yeah, both in slightly suboptimal fashion, but Guess people are tired of that.
I'm tired of hearing that, Crappo.
Exactly. You can always do it better. It's PvE.
I think that's fair. I think we've got the ability to talk about it. And Rated going to eat the pulverize there from Hillesong. Instantly as Candy and Rated ding too.
You can never challenge the push with the Kalista Alistar lane, and this is where we see how well Unicorns will deal with that pressure. Near level 2, push coming out from the Caitlyn Lulu, and they want to poke on her tower. And they want to avoid the gank from Kiki's. That's their bread and butter. Deny CS right here. We'll see if they can keep the Kalista down. Already 11 to 3 CS. He has to pick this up on her tower. See what happens.
We'll keep our eye on it. Hillesong's going to be helping out just a little. He's actually started Ancient Coin on that Alistar. He's going for the Relic Shield, which is an alternative. We did see in the mid lane, Kikis is hanging out. Potentially help Power of Evil. Power of Evil did go flash and cleanse. That's a flash forward. Flash for flash trade, and Fox, instant reply.
I almost don't like that flash from Power of Evil because it basically tells Fox you have to flash out. If I flash aggressively, I will never do that unless I know it's going to be killed. So it gives an easy flash for Fox. I would have rather seen Kiki's just try and connect the Q somehow. Force the flash and get a flash advantage. Trading flashes on a gank seems a bit of a waste of time here. Svensker in double buffs right now. Had a good start. And then again, down to this bot lane because top lane's even CS, you know, they're just poking each other down. They have enough sustain. Nobody's gonna die there. Don't have any deep wards just yet to threaten with teleport, so Candy Pan and Rated there. Want to get down the tower, but the hard thing is playing against Alistar, who still has his flash, is you can get pulverized flash and knock back into the tower, and then Kalista can follow you and hop, 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 and eventually Ren execute you. So that's a bit of the difference. His tower's not going down, so they just want to manifest the CS lead here.
We did catch a glimpse of this farm lane up top. Even Stevens as far as it goes.
Doran shield on both targets.
Yeah.
Incredibly exciting.
Mizachachi's going to get closer to that level 6. Got the teleport, got the stand united. Such a long time since we've seen Shen, but we'll see what impact it can have on the lane as we see Svenskeren moving into the jungle of UoL.
Yeah, neither junglers or neither mid laners have flash right now, so you would expect the return gank showing up, and Svenskeren's ready to flash over that wall, throw down parallel conversion, and then phase dive in. He wants Fox to land some DPS with the Ignite.
Well, let's find out. Batter, swing! And it connects. Power of Evil is stunned up. Timewinder comes back. Fox gets the poison and Sven gets the kill.
Fantastic play by Svenskeren. He throws out the parallel conversions. And Power of Evil didn't know what hit him. Suddenly he sees that field and he's like, where's that coming from? One dash over Gap Closer part 1 on phase dive. Then it procs your auto attack, makes it ranged, and then it allows you to dash towards your target next time. And I said he was going to flash. He didn't even need to use his flash right there until later on in the gang to close out that damage. So, good read. And this goes back to what I said earlier. I don't think Power of Evil should have flashed aggressively. When you're playing Orianna in this matchup and you get a gank, try and force Fox's flash. Because if you use yours first against a hyper-mobility jungler like Echo on Svenskeren, then you're asking for trouble.
Well, out of the 6 games leading up to this, SK had actually given up first blood in 5 of those games. So this is a nice confident play here coming out of Svenskeren, his first blood of the split, and something that's been lacking from Sven on his team.
And if you look at the draft the Unicorns have, it doesn't play well under pressure. If you're ahead, sure, you have a lot of openings, but if you're under pressure with this very telegraphed composition that's based all around Kalista in the early game, I guess it's very easy for SK to read this. If they don't allow wards behind them for teleports, if they stay wary of the Alistar Pulverize and then the Lee Sin follow-up, then they should be fine because they can just use their range advantage, pressure down some CS, eventually get that tower.
Kick is hovering around on the bottom. Hillesong's flashing, he's pulverizing, he's headbutted Enrated after Enrated flashes away. Here comes Kikis. Candy's gonna 90 caliber net backwards, and Kikis is gonna get the Tempest and cripple. It's turned into a snowman before he has to turn away. That gank was as cold as ice because it didn't yield anything, and Sven's invading.
This is a misplay from Hillesong. I mean, I don't really see that much. Q flash was good, but he tried to weave in 1 extra auto attack before he used the headbutt. And then that allowed Enrated to flash to the other side of Alistar. Of course, the headbutt's still going to come out. Knocks him into safety instead of knocking him towards the Kalista. The Kalista can no longer use the Panzer to hop forward, close the gap, and yeah, Kikis comes in too late. And now this is the one weapon they had in the bot lane. That's a threat. If you survive the pulverized flash, you're good. You're good for the next 4 minutes. I can imagine Unicorns of Love tower on the bot lane is going to fall a lot lower right now, that they don't have that aggressive potential anymore. But this is good for SK.
So, very, very good start. 1,000 gold up. They've got first blood. They've avoided the first gank. Freddy's back already. has picked himself up that pickaxe and did not use teleport to get back to lane, so in theory, may be able to follow Vizichachi Stand United if needed. And we see CS, again, even or in favor of SK. So, good start for the team. It's currently 10th in the European LCS.
And the pressure advantage is on Fox's side. He's clearing these waves before Power of Evil can do it. Usually when you look at Orianna, you say, yeah, she has wave clear, but she doesn't have the pressure to do it first, especially against the Cassiopeia, not when she's behind. So pressure on the top lane from Freddy's Gnar, he has the range advantage. Pressure in the mid lane from the Cassiopeia on Fox, because he has the wave clear advantage. And then pressure in the bot lane of double range versus melee ranged on short range Kalista. Triple pressure for SK with an aggressive jungler and Echo. This is the way they like to play in Spring Split. Seems to go back to their roots.
We'll see if they can keep this pressure up. Svenskeren is going towards that Cinder ult, like we've seen Airwax building from the Copenhagen Wolves. Freddy with that pickaxe is landing auto attack after auto attack. And you can see just how effective Shen is, sustaining himself with that Vorpal Blade and feint.
Now you can send in Svenskeren first, get the aggro, and then Chrono Break out, reset it. Freddy, not sure if this is the right approach. This is how you used to deal with globals. Instead of doing a gank and getting counter ganked by the global coming to you, you take care of the global first. Something happened.
Not good.
Nothing happened.
Freddy misses that Gnar. As we did actually see Kickers. He hopped over into the Baron pit. Hung out for a little while, actually. Didn't really move in quickly enough. And now, Svenskeren has backed away. He's in his jungle. Chachi, is this going to be a flash dash?
You might see a taunt flash coming out right here. He's posturizing. Freddy can read this.
Let's see if it connects. There's the hop into flash. And all Kickers had to do is wave hello.
Yeah, I'm here. Freddy dashes out. And I think this is good for SK still. That should have been more. I really feel right here, Chachi could have used his flash aggressively to get the dash in and just taunt it up. And look at that tower, as we said earlier. Once that threat from the pulverized flash combo is down, Candy Panda still has his flash. There's not enough damage on Unicorns of left side. You can safely move up and whittle down that tower. And Unicorns are crumbling under the pressure.
Well, they are down around 1,000 gold. That tower should fall shortly. Vardags is 10 CS down thus far. And with them backing away, we'll see whether or not SK decide to prioritize Dragon, considering the amount of control they have in the bottom half of the map.
Now, when teams usually do this and they play triple pressure, they want to get the outer towers down first, take control of the jungle, and then move maybe a support and a top laner and dive the mid laner. Because Orianna can always clear 1v1, but if you put more people in the jungle here aggressively and force a dive, kill her first, then take her tower, then you open the map. Let's see if SK can achieve this too. Svenskeren gets caught. Here's a level ahead of Kikis.
Yeah, you did see Kikis snuck away that Raptor camp. His team's probably fairly slow in picking up those first dragons. We'll see how they prioritize it. Jungler going mid. We did see Enrated hovering around in mid lane, but after placing some wards, it's back to Svenskeren, I feel, has done a good job of applying pressure in the jungle. Because every time we see him, he's in, UoL side of the map.
And this goes back to the draft. Triple pressure from SK. All lanes are pushing. This is really easy. Because normally when you're in the enemy's jungle, the enemy's going to arrive first if there comes a battle. But because all the lanes are pushing, Svenskeren will always have the support of his teammates. And it becomes very telegraphed when the Unicorns want to stop him. If he gets caught, you can always chrono break back out.
Kikis with this warrior enchant ends up winning that trade. But doesn't really result in anything after that. So neither of the teams actually went for that dragon. As you talked about, Crepo, more focus on the tower. Candy Panda goes back to push out his lead. He's touching the fact that Sven is now in a little bit of trouble. He gets knocked all over the house. Chrono breaks backward, flashes over the wall. Kikis ward hops, and Chachi sinks in the Vorpal Blades.
Svenskeren with his best impression of a ping pong ball. Good roam there. Like he should have flashed out defensively. He thought he could chrono break out of it, but yeah, good capitalization from Hylissang right there. They know SK's bottom lane is not pushing hard enough. They're not putting pressure on the objective, so he opens up the map. He starts roaming. Gets a kill. This is good. This breaks the tempo. SK, he's diving.
Hylissang's got Unbreakable Will, and he's thrown the button down. Freddy gets killed. It's Chachi Shen. Shen, that is 2-0 at 12 minutes.
Yeah, SK dropping the ball here. That's such a good start. All the means to snowball it, but they simply let the enemy support walk into the jungle, get a kill. Their top laner is still under the tower. We saw both of those guys in the jungle. Didn't come as a surprise. they're allowed to walk in, headbutt, Unbreakable Will, and simply take down Freddy while he has teleport. I feel this is a big mistake from SK Gaming, and they're not capitalizing anywhere. They're not taking any cross-map objective. Well, no Dragon, no towers.
Cripper, with the good comes the bad. You can't have an aggressive Svenskeren in the early game from Spring without having a greedy, farm-heavy Freddy like in Spring. Stuck around just too long, ends up alone, getting a kill, and he's used TP, so eventually Chachi will have it first. Hellesang is going to head,
but he has a Shen.
Rise up. Parallel Convergence does not connect. Svenskeren and Fox now looking to play out. They get knocked up. Fox is still holding on to that petrifying gaze. Chrono Break is now left the threat zone from UoL, and the fight is carrying on. Visit Chachi, he did use Stand United, however.
Yeah, but you were touching that. Yes, you have the greedy Freddy here in the top lane, but what SK used to do is, if you aggro on one side of the map, and SK will take a cross-map objective on the other. Forgiven was always pushing in the bot lane. Fox was always trying to push in the mid lane, and if you put resources towards one lane, they will just kill you in the others or take your objective. This didn't happen. This time, SK does take the top tower, but they traded for a dragon. However, they're still 1,500 gold ahead, so definitely not all bad, just a minor slip-up.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because SK still have 2 towers in the advantage. Again, CS numbers still mostly in the advantage. I want to see how effectively Chachi can split them with this slightly buffed Shen on 511. And of course, how Power of Evil is going to keep scaling up. Take a look at his item build here. Working towards that Morellonomicon. Got the tier stacking. Heavily committed to the late game. Pretty much the same way the Cassiopeia is. And Unicorns, a lot of uncontested time on the tower, chunk away about 30% of its hit points.
Yeah, but you still see how much wave clear there is on SK's side, and it's very hard for Unicorns to break out of this game. They want a tier 1 tower. They predict Freddy's gonna come here. Chachi, he might go in for this.
He does. He lands the Shadow Dash. Kikis is going to find Svenskeren. Kikis, Sonic Wave into Resonating Strike. Parallel Convergence will stun Kikis up and give Sven the shield as Chachi is forced to flash over the wall. Freddy, he goes hyper, he hops, but he gets taunted once more, and the boot back from Kikis saves Unicorn's life.
Yeah, and Echo excels in these slow 2v2 skirmishes because he will always have the chance to pop his ultimate. He won't get locked down and burst it immediately. So much utility. He forces out the Unicorns. Beautiful kick flash though from Kikis. He kicks first, flashes to the other side. Kick comes out, immediately disengaged right before Freddy goes into Mega Gnar. And again, the pressure. SK always pushing forwards, always hitting that tower. So much wave clear.
Great Power of Evil. Wave into dissonance. Power of Evil saves
but it's not enough.
Tower. Let's see if SK stick around.
And this is the power of this triple push composition, because it forces the Unicorns to use their engaged tools as wave clear. And it becomes very hard because now everything is predictable, right? They can only do one thing. They can send Alistar in with Shen ulti perhaps when he comes up, and that's it. Or Alistar flash pulverize. That's the only thing they have to play around right now. Just dodge that zone control on the Alistar. There's no Ori ulti anymore. Lee Sin flashes down. He might have kick soon, but ward your flanks, push in, get a tower, get another tower, ward in between the lanes in the jungle, and keep doing that. Rinse and repeat over and over and over.
We did see Unicorns of Love securing that blue buff for Power of Evil. I'd like to highlight, of the 10 buffs that have been picked up this game, 7 of them have been secured by SK, 3 of them by the Unicorns of Love. Sven is doing a phenomenal job of invading and dictating who controls the jungle camps.
Now it has to snowball somewhere though. You need to get a lead, because eventually tier 1 towers are easy, but you need to start snowballing and taking control of the enemy jungle and deny resources. Otherwise, if you scale into the late game, you might get caught off guard here by the hard engaged. You know, Alistar flashes in, Chachi can town flash, then one good shockwave can decide his fights, and Hylissang for a fight.
Oh, he's going to headbutt, then pulverize. We are going to see the parallel convergence. It's going to at least give a shield to Sven, but it's a kill credit to Vardags. They did catch and rate it out, and SK unable to respond quickly enough.
Yeah, and the lack of vision control, finding SK in the butt here. They want to take control of the jungle, but they had lost the vision control there, so they have to be careful walking in. Because Candy Panda is alone on the top lane, and wouldn't wait down, and with Freddy alone in the bot lane, then if you get one of you guys picked off, suddenly your wave clear and your pressure crumbles. Good group from the Unicorns. Got one tower.
Have they stuck around too long? Parallel convergence is coming out. Shockwave only catches Fox, but the petrifying gaze locks up Unicorns of Love. Here comes Freddy with his frozen mallet. His Kikis goes down on the back line. Svenskeren is going to use the chrono break out to safety, and Vardags flashes. We do see the ace in the hole blocked by Hylissang. Going to end up trading 2 kills to SK Gaming. in reply for Enrated's life and the tower. Candy Panda's going to be happy to secure that one.
A little bit of greed by both teams here. SK overextending. Getting caught trying to get vision. We will take one tower, but then they got that tower because they had a numbers advantage. But if you keep pushing onwards, then eventually Freddy's going to flank. Eventually people will come in again. They lose the fight, and then they sacrifice another tower. So back to square one. 2,000 gold lead for SK.
17 minutes, 45 seconds. We do see that Fox has already upgraded to that Archangel staff, so that will get closer and closer to Seraph's. It's Power of Evil's finding that his first sort of big ticket item in that Marilla Numberphone. This may have found it rated once more. That's a lot of damage. He's going to get the help of Power of Evil and will continue to chase before stepping on that Yordle Snap Trap. He's going to follow through with the Resonating Strike. The chase is not over. Enrated's running low on mana. Candy Panda, he's going to get taunted up by Chachi, knocked up by Hylissang, shut down by Power of Evil. Kikis doesn't have the boot yet, has used it, is going to get ignited, but gets the kill before going down, giving it over to Freddy. 1 for 2. His Unicorns are now a little split up. Crepo is still going on. Hylissang, no unbreakable wing. He's going to get a shockwave from Power of Evil, but that will did not help out. Unfortunately, the corpse of Alistair is just going to get in place. Now all of a sudden, Bardax is down. Everybody is out of position. Bardax is peeling in reply, but he's got the damage. Nobody could kill him. I think a little fortunate to get away with that one.
So much chaos, but almost with no goal in mind. And it all started with Enrated getting caught, and this was a downfall of SK Gaming in many games as well. They just didn't have the proper vision control. They don't have it now. They try to get it, but they overreach. Look at all those wards that Unicorns of Love have. They spot what's going on the map, but Enrated tries to walking. Only sights on his team, and he gets caught for the second time in a row now, hunting these fights. And then they keep on fighting. But why? There's no objective, no power, no dragon. Complete opposite of what we saw in Fnatic Origin. They're showing different in standings here. Big's coming up. Unicorns have the position, have the vision, and SK don't have that pressure built up right now. They need to push in all the waves and then keep the Unicorns locked down. Then they have the advantage, but they're losing momentum, and if they can't start pushing, and the group from Unicorns is so much stronger, you said it. So much engaged, so much crowd control.
And they're using the tools effectively so far. 20 minutes, still only 1,000 gold down, but Unicorns look to be securing their second tower shortly. They've got 2 dragons to back it up. They're sort of moving through SK's jungle, despite all of the jungle work that Svenskeren had put in place during the laning phase.
And I feel both of these teams are lacking something, especially in the shot calling department. I mean, we saw a good start from SK Gaming, but they're a little lost right now. And Unicorns as well, they have this democratic system that CLG had in the past as well, and we all know how that eventually ended up. It doesn't quite work anymore. You need that dedicated shot caller that puts the pawns on the field and just sends people in the right direction.
Considering the way the map moves, I think Rooks may actually be better units to compare them to. As we see Freddy trying to move backwards. Stand United coming in from Vizichachi onto Freddy. He's been ignited, he's been taunted. He's going to go Mega Gnar, survive a little while longer. Look at your mini-map. SK's coming in. They've got some backup. Freddy may be able to get away with this one. He's going to jump onto Hylissang. Use the Gnar already. Fate's Call pulls Hylissang out. Now Chachi's going to get caught up by that Time Winder of Sven. Freddy's still in the thick of things. Enrated, unreally able to do a whole lot. Freddy's going to go down shortly. Svenskeren jumped into the fight. He's chrono braked out. And Vizichachi's now getting poisoned by Fox. Twin Fang into Twin Fang. Shockwave only catching the support, but Unicorns will be relatively happy for that. They've got 1 kill. Kikis, he follows through. Sonic Wave into Resonating Strike and attack into Dissonance. You see the parallel convergence will apply that slow onto at least Bardax. Chachi decided not to flash after throwing down the dash, but Hylissang does. He manages to pulverize Fox up in the air. The attack, the Dissonance, Kikis goes in, he goes out. These fights are just as messy as the decision.
Can't flash.
Catches Candy and gives Unicorns a sweet treat. Power of Evil once more. Looking for a pair of snakeskin boots. Doesn't find it this time round. May find a tower instead.
I think I counted about 3 or 4 aggressive flashes that ended up not quite working out, but eventually one does. And Vizichachi, beautiful taunt flash here, but yes, sloppy fights on both teams. A lot of action, really fun to watch. But eventually the Unicorns come out on top, a little more controlled. Okay, let's watch that again. The engage on Gnar was allowed to go into Mega Gnar. I feel like this ultimate is wasted from Lulu. You can use that so much later. If one of your targets gets caught, you know, you can send Svenskeren in Get him up alive. Freddy's tanking, but there's no counter damage, so his tank ability is wasted. Good pulverize combo here from Hylissang. He knocks Freddy out of the air, so he's the first one to fall. Then the reset. Shields from Power of Evil. In these slow fights, you can keep shielding. Eventually, Invader gets caught. Not too much, and people can disengage here, but SK still wants to fight. Even though they're a man down, they still want to fight. They feel like they have what it takes, but then Candy Panda steps into the wrong zone. Now they're behind. Chachi could have flashed here, but decides to hold it. Watch it, double combo. Fox disengage ult, he doesn't connect. Kikis goes in, he's like, oh yeah, I'm into deep, flash out. Now you'll see Power of Evil flash in here. He gets the kill, he immediately translates that into an aggressive flash, and then realizes, okay, that might be a little bit too deep as well. So a lot of wasted flashes almost, I feel, on both sides.
The end of it all, once the chaos has started, it's Unicorns that seem to be reining in the control.
They thrive in chaos.
So you know what we've learned, all right, 24 minutes in, is that both of these teams have gone through their sprints with styles of play. The same sort of strengths and weaknesses. And Unicorns now, for the first time, in the gold lead, they're even on towers. They've got a dragon lead, they've got a kill lead. With a pretty good itemization, and Freddy's gone mostly damage. A little bit of HP in both Cleaver and Mallet, but that's not a tank. Let's be honest. In contrast, you've got a Shen, Annalise, and an Alistair to try get through.
Yeah, a lot of zone control for Unicorns in these fights. I just have to commend that they didn't crumble under the pressure. They found that opening. I think it's really crucial when Hylissang ended up roaming and catch Svenskron at his wolves. Later on, dove Freddy on the top tower. I think that was a crucial moment of this game. The Unicorns finally got some breathing room. We're allowed to get into these late game team fights. And we see Power Evil. He went down for the first blood, but 3-1-1 right now. He needs time. He needs like 2 or 3 items, and then his shockwaves, you know, and his orb is going to do a lot of damage. And he's almost getting there.
We'll find out if they can, Peppo. SK got a lot of damage on this inner turret. There's about 1 minute and 10 seconds till Dragon pops up. A number of wards sitting around the Baron on the top half of the map. And both teams have secured the outer turrets only. You can see the Baron stats there. Neither team having a great record, but neither team sitting particular high on the tables.
And the reason this triple push style used to work for SK Gaming is because amidst pushing all the lanes, they would go back and take a dragon. Take one more dragon, take one more dragon. Eventually, they had a triple dragon threat, more mobility, 4 dragons, 5 dragons eventually. But right now, the Unicorns have both of these dragons, so they're comfortable. They gave up their T1 towers, but they don't really care. They have a split with Shen right now that's really hard to deal with, but he can always arrive in these fights. Stand United, teleport. They have a lot of wave clear in the mid lane right now to ruin that tempo for SK Gaming, because Power of Evil finally ramped up. He can clear waves in like 1 or 2 shots. Definitely comfortable position for the Unicorns.
We'll see if they can translate the comfort into a more decisive lead. The Chachi has picked up that Spirit Visage to back up his Sunfire Cape. Almost Death Cap here for Power of Evil. Bardax, BT into Hurricane. Slightly different build from what we saw from Reckless in the previous game, but he needs to fulfill a slightly different role. And you can see Hylissang with Flash and Distortion Boots. He's looking for a target. Yeah, but
by no means is SK out of this game. They have the hyper late game carry in the Caitlyn. They can buff her with the Pixie. Dragon threat from Unicorns might be the one thing stopping SK from doing that. They're going for a Baron here.
Freddy seems to be winning this trade with that Black Weaver, with the Mallet. Vardags is going to come in to help. Oh, the taunt does not connect though. Vardags is also going to get gnawed backwards.
Here's Freddy.
Will get himself a kill. We will check in on the Baron in a moment. Ren slow comes down. Freddy throws the house, but it doesn't connect. We see Vardags going to hop, skip, and jump, eat the crunch. One more.
What's going on at Baron?
Baron's going to put a lot of damage onto Sven. He has gone tanky, but he's not tanky enough. And it looks like Unicorns of Love trade 1 for 1, but they stop Baron.
Yeah, Vizichachi really needs that Thornmail before he can start dueling Freddy. Black Fever combined with the Gnar passive proves very difficult for Chachi just to push him in. That's one good thing for SK Gaming here. And as I said before, the late game in the Caitlyn, if Candy Panic can eventually get his Phantom Dance to finish, get a couple of more items, get peeled for by the Cassiopeia, you know, by the Echo, by the Lulu, he can deal a lot of damage in these fights. In addition to that, eventually Chachi will get so tanky. You know, he'll get a Thornmail, get these 400, 500 AP Orianna shields. Definitely going to be some interesting fights.
Vardag stacked up so many auto attacks into Dragon. That is number 3. That is the mobility that we keep talking about with that third buff. But it's still only a hair's lead. 1,000 gold at 27 minutes is not particularly massive. And we saw Freddy, when given enough time, he can eventually get him charged. You have to feel he's not going to get that much time, very many opportunities.
Yeah, he can definitely take on Chachi in a 1v1 scenario, but when it comes to team fights, Shen brings a lot of utility. You know, that shield stand United, keeping somebody alive, and then a taunt, combining with Flash. Freddy at the same time, if he can stay alive, get into Mega Gnar or Flash, can prove crucial because Orianna is a bit immobile. She gets caught by Gnar, so is Kalista.
We do see Unicorns. They've initiated and we didn't even
Candy
see
Panda's down!
Candy Panda. Fox gets kicked backwards by Kick Is. Fox is going to stay alive as he poisons Vardax down. Won't be enough as Power of Evil will secure another kill. 1 for 2 and the tower. You just have to feel that was a flash taunt. They punish SK and they get the objective.
Candy Panda caught, and that's exactly what Unicorns want and exactly what SK does not want. Their main damage dealer together with Fox goes down, and eventually they switch to Fox. So Unicorns identifying the right threats, and they're going in again.
Well, we'll see what Kickers can do this time round. He's going to get gnawed up against the wall. Freddy's going to land the crunch and the wallet, brother. He's going to keep them under his spell. Chrono break defensively from Sven as Freddy is trying to hop away. The Boomerang Blade connects. He does manage to escape with his life. Unicorns are able to do more, but convincingly winning the fights.
Yeah, SK managed to thwart the Unicorns right there, even in 3v4 scenario. So that bodes well for them, but they dropped their both carries in that fight. Let's watch that again. Candy Panda facing here, and yeah, taunt flash from Chachi. This is the second time. Beautiful connect into Pulverized combo, into Orianna ulti. And then, yeah, of course, when Fox uses ulti, he stuns some targets, but then immediately gets knocked. I feel like Hillesang's playing a fantastic game. Just like we saw in the Fnatic Origin matchup with Yellowstar. Did a lot for his team. Hillesang is doing the same thing and proving why Alistar is a tier 1 pick right now.
I think it's important you bring that up because Hillesang has traditionally not done particularly well on Not Morgana. It has been his strongest champion by a very long margin. You know, he tends to fall back to the Thresh, to the Annie. This time around, putting up a great performance on Alistar. We'll see if he can help his team pick up the wins. Svenskera's going to jump onto Kickers, throws the Time Winder a little wide, but isn't punished too hard for it. And Unicorns continuing to split push. Teleport and stand united for Chachi. He's down bottom.
Yeah, both Chachi and Hillesang showing up big for the team here. Look at Hillesang's items as well. Finish the Talisman of Ascension. He's now building towards the Righteous Glory. He knows he can stay alive in these fights. And these fights won't get longer than 10, 12 seconds before they're decided. Unbreakable Will is enough for that. He just wants the movement speed to speed up Shen, to speed up Kikis, to speed up himself, and get to these carries. He wants to get to Fox. He wants to get to Candy Panda.
You see how effective the crowd control Unicorns have put together works this game. Knock-ups, knockbacks, knock-arounds, even a taunt thrown in for some good measure. When the fights happen, Unicorns are able to do relatively well. Still, 3,000 gold up. We're still only on that one tower on the inner mid lane down. And let's see if they can continue to siege.
And Candy Panda going for the ultra late game Caitlyn build. Opting for the Phantom Dancer over the Static Shiv. It's the best damage build in the late game. However, it slows down your last Whisper. When you're behind against one of these mega tanks like Shen, it's very difficult to get through that armor. Especially the longer you take, the more value you get out of those repetitive shields from Orianna too. So SK will have to wait.
Well, take a look at the gold lead over time. As you mentioned, Unicorns arrested control around 23 minutes. It's just shy of 10 minutes ago, and they are slowly pulling ahead, but it keeps dancing. It's only a 2,000 gold scale. That's not a lot.
This almost seems traditional for the Unicorns in summer so far.
It really is. Keep an eye on that bottom half of your map, guys. Unicorns seem to be starting with ground. They've got the Ren threat from Kalista, and Mega Gnar's not available for Freddy.
They know Freddy beats Chachi in a 1v1, so they want to start the fight, force the Baron, just like Fnatic did in their last game, because they have the Ren execute to finish it off. Here's a fight.
Away instead, Kikis is looking to kick Sven. He's not going to get it just yet. Chrono break backwards. Sven's going to get some damage down as Hillesang knocks him in the air. Parallel convergence is not really going to trigger. So we did see tower secured by Freddy. He's not joined the fight. He doesn't have teleport yet. But SK stopped the Baron and secure a tower.
Yeah. Gnar stayed in the bottom lane here. Prompting a repeat Baron by the Unicorns.
Parallel convergence, it is going to connect. Sven's not going to follow it through. Teleport is now up for Freddy, but he doesn't have Mega Gnar. Candy Panda is a little bit caught out. Hillesang is trying to run interference. It's a battle on two fronts. Fox slithers himself away on the left flank, while Freddy is going to get this tower.
questionable move from the Unicorns. Why did they not finish the Baron? It was on 4,000 HP. With the Smite when execute, that's 2k right there. So all they had to do was deal 2,000 more damage, get the Baron, and then he can trade it for the inhibitor. But beautiful play by SK here. They got an inhibitor for free. They might be doing a little bit too much here, going for the Baron.
And we'll see whether or not the precogs can help SK out. They got the tower a moment ago. They're going to get the inhibitor as well. And
Chachi
Freddy
teleport.
uncontested. He has a teleport from Chachi. I don't think he connected with the taunt, but Wild Growth is going to knock them up. But there's a massive fight as Candy Panda gets taken out. Hylissang is continuing to get the shields and the saves and the life. But Svenskeren that's trying to run amok. He manages to find Bardax. He manages to take down Power of Evil with the help of Freddy. And while Chachi's trying to get away, super minions are pouring down the bottom lane. SK have taken control back.
SK back in the lead right here with some really good shot calling. They used the fact that they leveraged the advantage that Freddy was stronger in a 1v1 than Chachi. Unicorns, they made the right move. Start the Baron and try and get everybody on the same side of the map. You know, take away that 1v1 potential from Freddy, put him in a team fight, try and win it that way. And they did it. Then they stopped. They went for SK, and what was a questionable engage at first, but it was understandable. But then the second time, Baron was on 4,000 health, and they opted to go for another catch instead of just finishing it off with the Ren. Good patience by SK Gaming though. Takes a lot of nifty moves to get out of there without dying. Svenskeren kept 5 members busy while Gnar. Look at that again. Now, this is where SK started the Baron. I feel this was risky because you had the threat of a possible teleport coming in from Chachi, but he doesn't connect with the taunt, and that buys enough time for eventually for Gnar to come in.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, but Kikis is going to find Freddy.
Chaos
of Hylissang. TLDR, SK won the team fight, got the inhibitor, but now they've lost Freddy and will alleviate some of that pressure.
Alright, third time is the charm. We have Stand United.
Look at those Ren stacks, 6, 7, 8, 9. With the smite, won't be enough. Parallel convergence has been popped. Sven does not get the stun. Goes in the time winder for Pogus. 22 stacks of Ren built up. Power of Evil's going to come on, protect.
Hylissang zone.
Late.
Finish it off.
Going to get secured here, and as a miracle happens, Svenskeren jumps in. He chrono breaks backwards, and the parallel convergence will not really stun anybody. He's
4-man stun.
Trying to get away. Not going to be enough.
Yeah, and this time the Unicorns have learned from their mistakes. You saw how easy it was. They could have done this earlier. Hylissang on the Alistar has enough offensive zone to just keep people busy. You know, one pulverize combo is all it takes. You know, delay it 2-3 seconds. Ren execute the Baron. Go from there. Sadly for the Unicorns and good for SK. Inhibitor ran down in that trade earlier. This might be the extra pressure they need because they only have one lane pushing. Start knocking on those other lanes and try to see if they can stall the Baron right now.
Unicorns of Love give up the lead only to take it back. See if they can actually siege anything out. They still only have that one inner turret secured in the middle lane. And we've not really seen him pressure into SK's territory yet.
Good adaptation here by Unrated, displaying utility support, so he picks up Talisman of Ascension, picks up the Mikhail's Crucible, just wants to deny that crowd control effects from the Unicorns, keep his carry alive, and Candy Panda now finish Lost Whisper. He's getting stronger. Eventually, he'll start racking up a lot of damage, combined with Fox too. We would initially say a double threat composition now, but the damage on Freddy's Gnar is not to be neglected, so triple threat from SK. Definitely do a lot in these fights.
Power of Evil's going to be able to secure that blue buff. Unicorn slowly getting some more control of the jungles. Yeah, while their Mikhail's is going to help against the taunt, it's not going to help against a whole lot else. Knock up from Fate's Call, knock up from Pulverize, Dragon's Rage, etc. So there's not a lot of cleansable CC on the side of UoL. They will sneak a tower though as SK delivers.
Yeah, but a lot of that, what you just mentioned, is secondary engaged. Bar maybe a flash combo from Hylissang. It usually is Chachi going in first with the Taunt Flash. Then the follow-up comes. If you can cleanse that immediately so you can flash out of it, UoL might actually miss their secondary engage and prompt the return fight from SK.
Svenskeren trying to start this one up. Kikis and UoL back away. Stand United is available as Chachi's pushing the bottom lane. Fox is trying to put some poison out on the side lane. He picked up that Rylai's a moment or two ago.
SK is waiting on their flashes right now. Candy Panda almost has it. Fox almost has it. Then they can look for these return fights. Are flashing from Fox. Be big, combined with parallel conversions.
Let's see, Freddy goes Mega Gnar. Unicorns do back away. Look at the bottom half of your map, guys. Chachi is pushing the inner turret. He's got Baron empowered minions that will go down very, very quickly. The rest of Unicorns of Love are keeping SK together. And remember, that's the lane with super minions that Chachi's pushing against.
Unicorns just have to wait on the top lane, wait for Chachi to push in, let him knock on that bottom door, and then eventually edge your way forward. Ball on one side, cow on the other. Move up your zone control. Give that short-range Kalista a chance to hit the tower, but the return zone from Parallel Convergence is big.
Well, we do see Thornmail was picked up by Chachi, and he's going to at least deal with Freddy in that 1v1. Tower is secured, and we see Svenskeren getting caught up by Kickers. The Shockwave is going to kill Candy Panda. Fox is forced to get that heal from Mikhails and try and make his way out. Parallel Convergence into a 4-man Gnaw against the inhibitor. SK Gaming are digging deep, and they are finding what they need. Chachi, however, is going to taunt across most of the SK team, and they're trading 3-4-3. Top lane and jungler from SK are left, trying to run down the cow of Hylissang. Chachi is trying to do what he can up top. Hylissang's going to headbutt him away. Chachi and Freddy going toe-to-toe, but it's Freddy that ends up winning. Another tower falls, and the Unicorns of Love lose the fight, but get the objectives. Phenomenal
synergy on SK's side. They should have always lost that fight. Two-man taunt flash from Chachi came in, followed up by the Orianna ulti, but somehow they managed to claw their way back into that fight. I believe that was a 3-man Parallel Convergence, 4-man Gnaw ulti. Let's watch that again. This is a battle of wombo combos right here. Svenskeren's W's down, comes the engage tower, falls, and look, watch Chachi right now. Double combo from Hylissang, followed by double-man taunt flash. Candy Panda gets evaporated, so now you would think this game is over.
I did.
And I did too. Watch Svenskeren. Combos the ulti from Cassiopeia into Parallel Convergence, sets up for Freddy. Oh my god, what a wombo combo.
Incredible play.
This is what dreams are made of.
Freddy and Svenskeren delivering when their backs against the wall. But the inhibitor stood, and that's important. SK Gaming hold on to their lanes, but there's exposed inhibs on both sides of the map.
A fantastic hold by SK Gaming. Not stressing enough. They saved the inhibitor somehow. Good stun by Fox, because we didn't see it amidst all that, but that's what started the fight, because his ulti connected on Vardax. People huddled around Vardax trying to peel for him. Then Convergence connected, then the Gnaw ult eventually. Good chain CC.
Oh, few mistakes here and there throughout this game. Now Kickers may be the next victim. Parallel Convergence does not stun. Unicorns trying to surround SK Gaming.
Both teams want to avoid bunching up. Don't want to get chain CC. Don't want to get multiple people caught. Svenskeren gets kicked.
Kicks Sven. Sven's going to dash to the dragon. He's going to aggro it. Does have flash available if he needs to. Parallel Convergence is used. He's going to give the slow. Unicorns actually seem to be committing to this dragon. It would be number 4 at 40 minutes, but SK want to fight. But they can Dragonite secure the steal! SK! Svenskeren gets the steal, he chrono breaks out. Shockwave is only going to pull Freddy backwards, but that's not too bad. That Gnaw bar is starting to charge up. Time Winder's going to slow UoL. Wild Growth was used onto Freddy. Hylissang gets lobbed in. He's down. Gnaw not going to get a stun, but it's not needed. Power Reveal drops. Fox has got 2. Freddy continues to chase. That Mega Gnaw connects with the house, and then Raiters looking for the slow. If he turns Vardags into a munchkin, there might be another kill for SK. They got the dragon. They got the Glitterlons. Now there's a stand united. Chachi and Vardags, what can they do? Chachi's in a little bit of trouble. Poison is burning away. Ace in the hole, plus the poison will get the kill, and that's a delayed triple for Fox's Cassiopeia.
What a fantastic fight by SK Gaming. First, we saw Power Reveal zoning the left side of the dragon, hit it with the Orianna ball. Thought that was safe, but then beautiful steal from Svenskeren. Dashes over and uses ulti to get back out. This problem's a panic engage from Unicorns. They wanted to make up for what they lost, and they went too far. Got their hands stuck in the cookie jar, and beautiful punish by SK Gaming. Good patience and fantastic, and they're looking...
They want to finish.
Pick up their first victory.
They teleported in. Crepo Fox is burning through Vardags, but Hylissang wants none of it. Fox is down. The Nexus is exposed. SK are racing for it. You can see Candy Panda auto attack after auto attack. The taunt doesn't connect, and SK break their losing streak. Freddy looks relieved while the rest of the lineup do look content.
This is the first time I've seen SK come in with a good idea of what they're doing, a solid draft to support it, and then some good shot calling in the mid game. Yes, the Unicorns gave them the opportunities. That's not SK's fault. They grabbed it with both hands, and a couple clutch moments in the game. First few minutes, you know, the first 10 to 15 minutes, triple push, triple pressure. Svenskeren, fantastic counter jungling. translated into a bit of a lull in the mid-game. And eventually SK got behind. And then you had that beautiful standoff around Baron where Gnar was split pushing in the bot lane. And the Unicorns just refused to take that Baron. One time, second time. Eventually they got it the third time. But by that time, SK had already gotten an inhibitor. Speed up forward a couple of more minutes. Top lane inhibitor fight. Yeah, what a combo. What a wombo combo. I thought the game was over, honestly, right there. And then parallel conversions, 4 or even 5-man Gnar ulti.
You can see the broken faces of Unicorns.
And this is a tough loss.
It is a tough loss, and it's not one that we talk about sometimes when you say, you know, it's not a clean victory.
And obviously Hylissang, he has to be disappointed. Got behind early, mostly due to the draft, and found some really nice openings. Found Svenskr in the jungle, dove Freddy in the top lane, neutralized that early game lead. But man, just, they haven't been progressing, the Unicorns. They seem to be stagnant on the same level over and over and over again. And yeah, they just allowed enough opportunities for SK to come back into the game.
Both of these teams with players getting caught out more than I think they would have liked at several stages throughout the match, but so important for SK Gaming. They are now 1-6. That is their first win in summer. It is against Unicorns of Love, who are now 0-3 themselves in the last 3 matches. 3-4 overall, but both teams have a lot to work on if they want to challenge the likes of HDK, the likes of Fnatic, the likes of Origin later on in the split.
I mean, you say it right there. I have a lot to work on because we saw a lot of fights. We saw a lot of messy fights. You know, not all flashes connected, not all flashes led to a kill. How's the couch? That's my name. But yeah, this was chaos, and it wasn't controlled chaos like we saw with Fnatic against Origin. You know, they fought, everything they did was calculated, 1 or 2 steps ahead. They always had a goal in mind, you know, map control, deep vision, or a dragon. But here it was just, okay, guys, I'm caught. Can you help me? Yeah, sure, we're coming. Okay, we're coming too. We're fighting apparently. Who's winning? I don't know. Just keep fighting. Eventually, we'll see who's winning. Okay, we're winning. Oh, taunt flash. Okay, we're losing. Oh, parallel convergence. Messy. And then it relies more on like individual play and outplays, and I feel it's okay, but a better macro team will just punish you for that. And
we're seeing that. This messy style's not picking up as many wins as it did in the spring split. One thing that did work out quite exciting was the team fights this game. We've actually got a replay of one of those last team fights that we do want to have a slightly closer look at if we can pull that up onto your screens. And Crepo, I know you were talking a lot about the interactions between these two respective teams. Talk me through this particular play.
And let's see where this is at the game. And eventually Svenskr, yeah, he gets caught here. So this is the dragon fight that actually decided the game. Good adaptation. Dash 1, dash 2. Flash out eventually, because he's going to dodge the flash from Chachi. Burns the cooldown with his flash. Now look at the Orianna ball. It's going to move upwards in your screen to the top left. So they want to zone out SK from entering the pit, but they forget about the boy who shattered time. Svenskr goes in dash 1, dash 2 plus smite. Rend execute gets missed, and this is crucial. This tilts Unicorns almost, because Hylissang, he wants to go up for a panic engage. Candy Panda flashes the follow-up, and now it's lost, you know. They've used so much of their offensive tools, but they keep fighting. The Unicorns could have disengaged right here, but they keep fighting. Then Freddy goes in with the Gnar ulti, then Power of Evil gets caught. Kikis comes in for the defense, but Fox punishes him with an ulti, and again, one of those fights where you could have easily stopped fighting, but because there's nobody saying, hey guys, we've just used 3 of our offensive tools, none of them connected, well, let's keep fighting anyways, and then, oh, we're dead, and oh, damn, our Nexus is dying, and then, yeah, game over.
It sometimes gets frustrating using the same phrases over and over, but when they're true, you kind of have to. Shox coined the phrase during the spring split that the Unicorns of Love have an on button, and that's it.
Yeah, no pause.
And they never find pause. They never find stop. And this game was a good example of that. They kept fighting. They kept, you know, pushing. They kept trying to put themselves in positions. Sometimes it works. Most of the time, it does not. And that means Unicorns actually give SK the first victory of the summer. Take a slightly closer look at that. We're going to head over to Shox at the analyst desk.